I just take off my makeup with like a makeup wipe, like ripping it, and everyone would be like, "Stop that."
All right, well, let me just introduce what's happening here. You are joining us. This is Tomorrow by Today, which is like the millennial brand of the Today Show.
Yes.
So I have two requests for the 1,200 people who are watching us right now. The first is please follow Tomorrow by Today on Instagram. We have all types of information that are perfect for millennials, and it's just kind of this like really awesome opportunity for people to learn things, and it's a project that I've been working on and I'm really proud of it. The other thing is please send questions for Gottmik. Send your questions. I will definitely be asking a few in the next 20 minutes, okay?
Yes, ask me questions and good ones.
First of all, congratulations on theoretically being some sort of Emmy nominated person, with Drag Race being nominated for like the 1,000,000th time. How does like that feel to be on part of that season that's getting this incredible recognition?
Yeah, oh my God, I'm going to change my Instagram bio to theoretically Emmy nominated.
Do you love that?
I'm obsessed with that. I mean, it's literally everything, because I mean, girl, we filmed in the middle of the pandemic and turned out like such gorgeous TV, and I'm so obsessed with everything we did. So I'm like, I felt like it was correct. I was like, it makes sense with my fantasy that we're nominated that many times. Yeah. Candy, the producer muse, thank you for your gorgeous production value that you added to the season.
Yeah. What was the biggest misconception you had about the show before walking into the workroom?
I think I don't know. I think I thought I was a little more not closed-minded than it was, but I was a little like nervous going in that I would just like not be accepted the way that I was. I went in there and I was not only accepted like every single part of my drag, it was not even like a thought. People were like, "Oh my God, work, love that for you. Now let's kill it." Like didn't even have to explain or talk about it. Everyone was just like so amazing, from every girl in the workroom to RuPaul herself. So it's just such an amazing environment that helped me like grow so much as an artist.
Yeah, you definitely seem to have built this incredible connection with Rue. I mean, I just really, I've watched a lot of the show, and I just really felt like, you know, Rue was sincerely so enamored with you. How did that feel to like walk away from the experience, having that connection be so strong?
Oh my gosh, it was insane to me, because obviously like I'm so obsessed with RuPaul. I've been like a RuPaul stan since I was in like high school. I've watched Drag Race since I was in like high school. And then just getting there, and you know, at first she's just kind of getting to know everyone, and it was just slowly building, and I don't know what snapped, but it was just game over, and we would just lock eyes and start laughing. And when you get a RuPaul laugh, it's just the best feeling in the world. And the fact that I could always just turn out a laugh from her, I would just like get off to it, and I'd want to be like driving it home even deeper. Like I was like stabbing her with like laughter and like twisting the knife. I was like, let me go harder. Like it was just so fun. And every time I see her now to this day, I'm like, just want to make her laugh so hard.
What have you been working on since the show ended? Like, what have you been doing? Or like, I know that you were on tour. Tell me more about that.
Oh my gosh. I have been going since the finale. I literally went straight from the finale. Me and Rose went straight to Drive-In Drag with Lost Events, which I'm so grateful for. It was like my first tour ever, and I learned so much and like bonded with the most amazing queens ever. And then literally ended that 2 weeks ago or something. And I've just been going to bars. I've been working on some music. I've been working on some makeup artistry. I have a lot of fun things coming out, and I'm trying to do so many things at once. My head's gonna literally explode, but it'll be worth it.
Are you singing? Are you rapping? Like, what's the vibe? Is it more rock? Is it more like club bangers? Is it house music? What's kind of like, what are you being inspired with musically? And like, what do you think your sound's going to be like when you do release it?
Yes. I mean, I think I want like my music to be just exactly what I am, which is like, I love like a punk rock aesthetic. I want it to be rock and roll down, but then also at the end of the day, I'm like a little girly at the club that just wants the only fun beat of life. So I want like guitars mixed with like something you can dance to at a club. I'm like creating a new weird genre, and it might be weird, but I like it, so sucks.
I love it. Something you can like maybe clack a fan to offbeat.
Yeah. Very that, very that.
Very that. I love that. I love that. Who has been like one person, queen or just celebrity in general, that you really bonded with after the show? Maybe like not somebody from your season, just like, or like who would somebody be surprised to find out is like somebody in your phone who you're like constantly texting or like kikiing with?
Oh my God. Well, I don't know if it's a surprise, but literally, me and Miss Vanjie got like so close on tour. She's literally like helped me so much with my drag, like physically, like because she's from a pageant background, so she has all these old pageant tricks. She like would clear space and have like a Gottmik shelf like to organize me because I was such like a mess at first. And she would just like she'd be like, "Baby, here's your stuff." And then on top of it, she's just like the most amazing person, and we're like the most chaotic duo of life. So we're just like two peas in a pod, and I am obsessed with her.
I actually heard about this because somebody that like I'm friendly with one queen who my friends think is so cool, but I just developed like a really strong relationship with Bunny, like Lady Bunny. And like a few months ago, one night she like called me on a Friday when I was like with friends, and they were like, Lady Bunny like calls you? And I was like, yeah, like almost like weekly. We have like a little Kiki and Kai Kai, and like, you know, and a couple weeks ago she told me, she was like, that Vanjie and Gottmik are so funny. They're so funny together. They're doing like the funniest stuff backstage that she just was saying. She's like, was like, makes her laugh. And she was just like she was saying how much fun she's having on the tour, like because of the two of you.
Oh my God, yeah, me and Banshee would just like go off on Bunny all the time. We literally would like, she would just come sit in our trailer. We would just read each other, and like me and Banshee would like pretend we're practicing stand up with her, and she would get so annoyed because we'd be like, "How was that joke, Bunny?" Like just crazy with her, and she is just the funniest human alive too. And I'm the same way. I'm like, I can't believe Lady Bunny's like calling me right now. I'm like confused when she does. One day I was in my room and she's like, "Want to go on a walk?" I was like, "Who is this? Like what?" Like Lady Bunny wants to go on a walk.
Also, the first time I saw him out of, because I never had really seen him out of drag until like one time, like I bumped into him at a diner, like I bumped into Bunny at a diner, and I was like, oh my God, like what is this right now? This like moment. I felt.
First time I saw Bunny out of drag, we were at a random hotel. It was like one of my first stops. It was her, no, it was like Bunny's first time on the tour. Like she came a little bit later, and then we were like, the fire alarm got pulled at like 3 a.m. And so everyone evacuated, and she was sitting on the bench, and I had no idea it was her. I was just like sitting there outdoors, Lady Bunny with Lady Bunny. And then the next day I was like, "Oh, that was you. Hi, Gorge."
I love that. All right, so to everybody watching, to the 700 people that are watching, please send some questions for Gottmik. I'm going to ask a few in a couple minutes. The one other thing I randomly have this like fragrance right here. I have no idea where I got it, probably from like a flea market, but it's literally called the Paris Hilton.
Oh, what does it smell like?
I don't know. Hopefully she smells better than this.
Is it her brand, or did someone just name it?
Oh no, it's just some like random like essential oil I probably got at like a flea market or like from the subway when I was hot one day and like needed to dab something on myself. But the interesting thing about the two of you is like kind of when your impersonation of her aired, there was a lot of conversation about comedians kind of reconciling like having made fun of her in the past or whatever, but
Yeah.
your impersonation of her seems so like it was funny, but it also like wasn't offensive. How do you think it was able to walk that line? And like, were you scared it was going to be seen as offensive? Sort of like, what was kind of your whole experience with impersonating her?
I mean, I feel like because I know her to some degree, I've like been around her. Like we're not like friends, but you know, I've been around her and I've done her makeup, and I've gotten to know her vibe and how like amazingly professional and iconic she really is. But then obviously I've been a fan of her too, so I know what the media sees. And then I'm like, okay, so everyone thinks she's like the only party socialite diva of life. I know she's like an iconic businesswoman, and people are like, at that time people were starting to understand that because she like had just come out with her documentary and stuff. And I was like, okay, like how do I make some funny party jokes, but we obviously don't want to go too far. So I would literally like come home from set and like sit down in the shower, and I'd be like, okay, we don't want to go too far with these jokes. So
Right.
maybe,
It's also I think you made fun of like the right thing, and I think that like a
yeah,
lot of times they talk about in like the stand-up comic or like sometimes there's like something that's just mean and it's not like funny. And I feel like what you made fun of was also kind of things that were never made fun of before, and so it was actually like interesting and actually worked. You know?
yeah, because all the things like that I'm obsessed with about her too. I'm like, I made fun of her like sister marrying a Rothschild because that's like a fact that is so crazy to me, and I think about all the time. I'm like, her sister's a fucking Rothschild, like that's everything, and just like weird little things like that. Her being a businesswoman, I'm like, how do you make that funny? And it was just like that I knew wouldn't be like a touchy subject or weird towards anyone. So
Okay, so we have so many fan questions, so I'm gonna try to get a couple in. This is a good one. What are some of your favorite interactions with fans?
oh, I think my favorite interactions, I've like gotten to meet so many like dope trans guys that like do drag. And it's so crazy because before the show, I'd never even met one in my life. And then now it's like I do a meet and greet or I just check my DMs or something and I like get to read these like dope artist stories and they're all like trans masculine, like trans non-binary, like masculine presenting guys that are doing like the dopest drag. I'm like, what is going on? Like, where has this been all my life? And it's just so
Yeah.
cool. I got this platform and now I get to connect with so many people like me. Like it literally brought like my life together too.
What are some of your like mental health tips?
Ooh, okay. I'm a crazy type of person where I need to be around people at all times. Like I just want to wake up and see my friends. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired. It's just like let me just see someone. But I think I've learned that like my mental health thing is like once a month I need to like unplug my whole life and just like not talk to anyone. Like I can't even answer my mom's call. Like I'm like watching the girls next door in bed with 10 different Uber Eats orders stacked up next to my bed, and then I'll deal with the repercussions like the next day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm finding out too that like social post-pandemic socializing is feeding me so much more, but also like exhausting me so much more.
Yeah.
Where like one weekend out or like one weekend doing cuckoo shows, I need like a week to recover. Yeah, and I'm fine with that kind of, but I think it's just like understanding the balance too, because I'm like loving it too, but I'm also like, you know what, like you need to refill that tank.
100%. Yeah. So that's like my it's like so like vague and weird. Everyone's like, I like a bath bomb and like so specific. So I'm like, no, bitch. I need to like so comatose that I might not even be able to wash my face that day. Like that gnarly in bed.
I mean, that's fine. And you still have like, you know, probably bottles of placenta in your refrigerator just there for you ready to go if you need it.
No way.
What's the first thing? Because you know, I spend a lot of time with drag queens. I'm always like curious, like, what's at a drag? What's like the first thing you do? Like, you did a show, you were out all night carrying, you get out of drag. What's like the thing you turn to for like comfort or for like decompressing or?
I think like I think it's literally like I was saying, my friends, like I literally love, like if I'm like overwhelmed and stuff, like I don't want to lay down. I'm like, I need to call Vanjie, I need to call Candy, like I need to call Gigi and just like laugh for a second. And I think like laughter is my decompression. I just need to like laugh. And sometimes I'll be sitting there like I will literally have the thoughts of like being stressed and I'll be like, I can't wait to laugh again. Like I'll be like dramatic like that out in my head because I just like love laughing. And I think that's like my biggest way to relax.
What's your fave animal?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'm really slowly but surely becoming like this is the boringest answer ever, but Vanjie has this cat and it's the cutest cat I've ever seen. And then Nats and Gigi, my other best friends, they also have cats and they're just like laying on me as the best thing in the world. So I'm like slowly becoming a cat woman. I don't know what that is.
But like maybe it's not even like cat. It's like Vanjie's cat is your favorite animal.
Maybe. Yeah, it literally is like, I think Vanjie probably never let it down as a kitten or something because it like, I was holding it and it's just like dead. It's like it's like a stuffed animal. I'm like, it's so cute. I could die.
Okay, we have a lot of this version, but advice to come out to your parents is trans.
Ooh, I feel like you just have to, this is kind of intense, but like you just have to kind of be ready for anything, like mentally prepared, because I know when I came out, it was a little rocky at first, and I thought it was like the end of the world because I just didn't see that it was going to be a problem like that for me. Like, I didn't think my parents were going to have an issue to the level that they did at first. And so I definitely just wasn't ready. And I was like, this is the end of the world. Like, I just wasn't prepared. And so even though we're so good now and they're the most supportive people ever now, it was like a journey to get there when my chosen family had to help. So I would say have a really amazing support system around you, be ready for anything, and trust that there's a light at the end of the tunnel that you can work through, because it's kind of a transition, you know?
Yeah. What does the number tatted on your wrist mean?
Oh, this one. This is actually crazy. This is like the date that I started hormones, but it's like the wrong date.
What do you mean? Like, did you like inverse numbers or something?
No, I think I just have to add a 1 to the end. I literally don't really know because I don't read Roman numerals. I thought I just looked cute. And I think if I added a 1, it would be fine, but I don't know. And
it's Roman numerals. Okay, what was that date? What day is it supposed to say?
Well, I don't remember now because I look at this every day.
But did you get it right after? Did you like after you started hormones, did you go to the tattoo parlor, or did you get it done like years later?
No, I got it done like the same year. I think it's like July. Does someone know? It's like July something and then some date. And I think it's like if I add a 1, it's correct. So whatever that is,
I love that though.
I know, and it's like I don't care enough to like fix it, and then I also think it's very on brand for me to have done that. So I'm like,
but I just love just the idea of it being that is like so interesting and creative, and I would never have guessed that if I saw like Roman, like of all the things that I would guess, that would like be the very last thing.
I know. Well, it was like it changed my life, so I was like, I need it tattooed, but. Yeah, I was like very on brand for me. Let's just keep it. It comes with a story.
Yeah, for sure. The last question, because I know you have to go to another interview because girl, she has gigs. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. This is such a fabulous, fun little kiki. To everybody watching, please follow Tomorrow by Today here on Instagram. We have a lot of really fun things coming up in the next few weeks. And I guess my last question for you is, because I love to end with like a little Oprah moment, a little RuPaul-ism maybe. Okay. What have you learned most about yourself through this journey thus far?
I feel like, I mean, girl, I could go off all day about how much I've learned about myself as like a person and an artist. It's just like the person that walked in that workroom is not the same human I am now. And it's just so amazing to see how fast that happened. But I think my favorite thing is just like on the show, how I was like, oh, I can't do comedy. I can't do this. And because I just thought I was a makeup queen and that was pretty much it. And now I've learned that like the second you start saying no, like you're just the only one standing in your way. Because like life is literally, it's whatever you want it to be. So if you're out there saying, I can't, like nothing's going to get done ever. So even if I'm bad at something, you're going to watch me do it because I'm just going to try because who knows what happens,
And I think that people hear that and they hear about you doing that on the show, but we're not all going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. Most of us aren't. So I think that people can hear that and apply it to their own life in whatever capacity or way that they can. Because at the end of the day, like what you just said, you're the only one saying no sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like 100% of the time. Like, someone could be like, can you, like, teach me how to skydive? I'd be like, let's try it, yeah. Worst case scenario, death. But I don't see that in my cards. So let's...
Right. Or just, drink some placenta to get some better skin. But you are such an icon. This is now the 3rd time I've interviewed you. I briefly met you at Madonna, which was super, super something.
Oh, my God. That was something for sure.
That was something for sure. Keeping you're such a light in this world. You are so special. I love seeing you shine, and I know this is just the beginning. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you again.
Yeah, duh. Thanks, Gorge. Love you. Bye, you guys.
Bye, Gorge. Love you.
Loves you.